Welcome back to the Splash Talks podcast. I'm your host, Sammie, and I'm here with my co-host, Cody.
What up, guys?
It's just another episode, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about why our childhood was better than this current era. Now, Cody, let's start back in the day when we were little kids, and we wanted to do something and have fun. What did that look like for you?
Honestly, one of the, there's tons of memories, but the school week ending, it's Friday.
Yep.
You're pulling up to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video. I was a huge gamer as a kid. You know what I mean? I love video games still to this day. And then, walking the aisles, trying to get there before, everyone gets off work, because everyone gets off, 9 to 5. Pulling up, walking through the aisles, making, oh man, is there one left? Is there one left? Is there a movie behind it? Yes, we got it, and then going to the game sections, what video games they had, and then, getting to the front of the aisle, and it's like, we're getting popcorn and candy and soda and snacks, and just that was such a fun time, man. I love
TGIF.
Yeah, TGIF. You remember the shows,
when it was Friday. For those listeners who don't know, TGIF was every Friday night on TV on different channels, probably Fox, ABC, CBS. They had a Friday night lineup that went from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. That was the shows that you were looking forward to. That means Hanging with Mr. Cooper, Family Matters, Step by Step. All these shows. Yeah, Full House. Yeah. All these shows that you would look forward to, and you knew in school when it was Friday, oh, it's TGIF. When I go home tonight, we're going to watch TV. Watching movies was one thing, but playing outside as kids.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the playground outside of school. Meaning you probably had kids in your neighborhood who were coming over to your house and being like, hey, can Cody come outside and play?
Yeah. My neighbor,
Mrs. Lopez?
My neighbor right next to me, Tyler Deary.
Yeah.
And then down the street was Blake Mahagan. And I lived in a nice neighborhood, but they had a pool. My other homie had a pool. And it was we had another friend across the street named Paul. And we'd be playing tag, or we'd always shoot hoops. That was our thing, growing up playing basketball, because we all had basketball hoops. And then there was this cool hideout. It was like a bush, dude. I don't even know how to explain it, but you could go in it, and there was different pathways all through it. And we'd get in there, play tag, hide and go seek, and ride our bikes, go to the jumps. We'd always go out to jumps, where dirt jumps to jump your bikes, and then scooters kind of came around, but that was not so much our era. But
and I'm pretty sure your mom probably let you run free.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I was with them, it was all good. As long as they knew where I was at, Even
we'd
really go out on our bikes, and it was not a big deal. We'd all be on our bikes and go out and ride around. I mean, we wouldn't be on the main streets and stuff, but they weren't really tripping about it. It was as long as you guys are together, make sure to stay together and make sure you guys are, with each other.
Yeah, same with my neighborhood. We would have not bike gangs, but we rolled around on bikes and we would just run up and down these streets. These weren't main streets though. These were side back streets. They weren't main streets. Our parents wouldn't trust us on the main street, but we knew not to ride over there. The only times we'd have to get back in if it was probably dinner time, or if it was hailing outside, maybe hail was coming down. It was come on, get inside, kids. Enough of the bike riding. We knew that. But other than that, they let us roam free. Rolling around in the neighborhood when we were kids, all we did was explore. We didn't care about anything. Time did not exist. The only time existed was when mom was it's dinner time. We just didn't care.
It was kind of like an unsaid rule. When the street lights start coming on, you come home.
As soon as the street lights come on, ditch the bikes. Time to go inside.
Get home.
One thing that I noticed about our era and our childhood is we just had zero distractions from actual life.
We weren't so into our device.
The kids now, they will remember what they saw on the screen. We remember what we saw in real life.
Yeah, we didn't have screens.
Our screen was TV.
TV
was our screen.
even on the weekends, right? We had cartoons.
Let's explain the fact that on Saturday mornings, we had Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
No. Yeah, it was like, I can't remember, maybe what, 7:30, 8 a.m. in the morning.
No, bro. 6 o'clock in the morning is when
really?
Saturday. Yes, when I woke up in the morning, they might not have been the best ones at 6, but it started at 6.
Dang. What was some of your favorite cartoons growing up?
There was a lot. You mentioned Doug. Doug was one. Chicka papa.
Recess was another one.
Recess.
Rugrats.
Bro. Dude, those are the two in my head too. Yeah. Recess, Rugrats. You remember Beetle Man? I was like Mr. Beetle. He was that bug dude that was on Fox. His skeleton was blue. You know what I'm thinking about?
No.
Bobby's World.
What was the one with the duck? Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck.
Remember?
Better watch out, you bad boys. Darkwing Duck. Yeah, of course, bro. Yeah. You think about...
I wasn't really allowed to watch Simpsons growing up. Like, I wasn't supposed to watch that.
I wasn't allowed to either. Getting back to who raised us. Screens, little small screens are raising this generation. iPads and iPhones are raising the kids right now. Our screen was TV. So when we watched TV, that was our thing. I don't know about you, but I lived in the era where my parents would go to work and then we'd come home after school and they would just trust us to be at home by ourselves. Yes. Yeah. They trusted us to be at home.
Because they knew you'd be locked on the screen, right? You'd be locked on the screen, like watching that. And that's pretty much like, oh, you're all good. If you got the TV, you're not doing anything bad. Like, you're just watching TV.
We had the best entertainment. So when it came to movies, everything was original, right? We had our we had the best TV shows. Our TV shows had memorable theme songs. Like I just sang to you, the Darkwing Duck theme song. Even Step by Step, Day by Day. Like one. You know what I mean? We like people actually put thought into this stuff. We are in the era where shows were not forgettable. Like they were very memorable. And what about this? Commercials. When we grew up, they had commercials for huge. Toys. For toys.
I was huge into Nerf guns. I love Nerf guns. I remember those a lot. Or like laser tag. Like it turned like getting older, started being like laser tag. You wear like a vest thing and then you shoot each other.
What was Super Soakers?
Oh,
we had the Super Soakers. Squirting water squirt guns, water guns.
Yeah, water guns.
And there was always like coming out with like the next like biggest, like the Super
Soaker 5000. Like what?
Yeah,
he just came out with the Super Soaker 6000. Super Soakers are still in the toy aisle. They're still relevant.
Oh yeah, Super Soakers are completely relevant.
You know what? Another one that was huge, dude. That like is probably even bigger today. Honestly,
what?
I never got into it. I mean, I did have some, but it wasn't like my main thing. But Legos.
Yeah, I never got big into Legos. Legos were like cool.
Yeah, they were cool, like to like make stuff, but it wasn't like, you know, Lego. Like kids go crazy for Legos now.
We're from the era where toys were memorable. Did you ever have a Tamagotchi? Those little small digital babies that you had to keep alive, right? You had to feed.
And nap it.
We had Tamagotchis where you literally had this little toy that you had to make sure you fed at the correct time, and if you fed at the correct time, like it would stay healthy. But if you were like trash and you weren't doing it, they would die, like literally, and just be dead. It was crazy.
Do you remember Pogs?
Oh yeah,
Pogs.
We had Pogs
and play it. But, like, you just slam, I won, take them.
I'm going to say this. In our era, we had a lot of things that were cool, like Pogs, like you're saying with Pogs. But there's a lot of things where we didn't even know how they worked, but there was always the kid at school who had everything. Like, They always like they had all the pogs and like all the collectibles.
The slammers,
you always knew them kids.
Yeah.
You know them. You knew them kids who had everything.
Yeah.
Like Beanie Babies. Remember Beanie Babies?
Yeah. Remember how like I think the Princess Diana one is still worth like stupid money. I got really big into like collecting basketball cards, football cards, baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget the time when we went into this sports card memorabilia store. It was right across from like my shop. The shopping center was right across from where I lived. And I went in there, dude, and I got a Warwick Dunn top. Warwick Dunn was a running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in the day. And it was a Warwick Dunn reflector, signed, autographed. And it was worth like $200 when I was like 10. So, that was a lot of money then. And I'll never forget that, dude. I'll never forget that because that was like such a cool feeling to be able to freaking like get a good card out of you buy a pack and open it. Me and my dad would go like every week and buy packs of cards, and I'd open it and try to, trying to look for that nice card or the autograph or whatever it is.
In our era, we had pop culture, and like growing up in the 90s and the 2000s, you had. When it came to movies, you had the biggest actors of all time. Like, these are like legends.
Yeah.
You think of Will Smith's, Denzel's, the Brad Pitts. This is the era that they were made in. Like, people who 90s. Were celebrities and big actors, they were legit larger than life. Robin Williams. These are all legends in this era. And you think about...
Robin Williams was a huge one.
Oh, 100%. Jim Carrey. These guys were in the biggest movies. They were the biggest stars, right?
Yeah.
But also, you think about music. Music, we had icons. We had people like Michael Jackson. Yeah, he wasn't made, technically when we were growing up, but he was still like huge when we were growing up. I felt like if you were famous when we were growing up, you were like famous, like a celebrity was.
I think Madonna was pretty famous then, right? In the 90s.
Yeah. But 100%. Madonna was famous. But mind you, we grew up in an era where people were famous for actually having some sort of talent.
Yeah.
Now, people are famous for just dumb stuff. Like, literally, you could just do something dumb and you're like famous. Like, influencers weren't a thing. No. Like, back then, if you were actually known, you had some sort of talent, skill, or some sort of personality, or you were just the hottest thing moving.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was a huge actor that I loved. It was crazy because I actually got to meet him before, bro, when I worked at Starbucks back in the day.
No way.
I'm working putting money in my till. I look up and it's Terminator, dude. The Terminator's in front of me, bro. And I'm like trying not to fangirl out. This was when obviously I was a teenager, but I grew up watching Terminator 2, bro. Like, that was my stuff. Kindergarten Cop, all those. And he was short and he was super nice, shook his hand. But I had a Nokia flip phone that had a camera. But back in the day, it wasn't a thing like, oh, let's get a pic. It wasn't like, that wasn't like a thing.
That picture would have came out super grainy and super small. Yeah. And you think about it, we grew up in an era where we didn't have internet, but then had internet. And then when we grew up having internet, it was just something you did. Like, I remember being out as technology just went through. Do you remember like the early days of Facebook where if you had a smartphone, you could go on your phone,
it came out
but you would prefer. But you would prefer to just go home and go on your desktop.
Yes. You'd be like, when it would load on the browser, like on your phone, it'd be coming out like all like jacked up.
Yeah. And so we went through eras where we had to have patience. Where with internet, we had to wait for dial-up. You had to wait for like the stupid noise. And then you'd finally like click a website link and it would take like 7 minutes to load.
That was a trip because now it's literally at our fingertips. If our phone's not firing like that, we're like, what the heck? Why is my phone working?
Yeah. We're like, oh, it's taking long to load. Throw this phone in the trash. Like, we don't need this phone. It's like, guys, do you remember how far we've come with technology? Like, we can literally see someone's face on the other side of the planet on our actual phone. Like, we didn't have that technology. It's wild. We're pretty spoiled.
Oh, very.
Even though we've seen it all, we're pretty spoiled when it comes to certain things.
Yeah, I knew this guy that he actually went into prison before internet existed, right? And he was in there for like 10, 15 years, came out and was just like mind blown. He's like, wait, there's this thing where you just go and you type anything you want on it and it'll like look it up. He like couldn't understand like how that works. And I'm like, dang.
Yeah, imagine somebody coming out of jail for like from 30 years ago learning about AI. Mind blowing.
Like, what?
Then we got music, right? Mm-hmm. How we consumed music back in the day. We had CDs. We had full albums. We had like full-on books full of like CD cases and just CDs. And we always had to like, if you drove with a CD in your car, like you literally had to like take out your book and be like, well, yo, Cody, what you want to listen to? Like, let's listen to Sublime, or like, let's listen to Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Like all right, let's pull this
section.
Yeah, let's go to the rap section. Like, let's pull out this album. And back then, you had to digest the whole album. You could not get the album with just one song by itself.
Yeah.
You literally could not get the album with one song by itself. And I think what that did was it taught us that to sit with an album, like, and an album was important.
Digest
the moment
it.
that Yes, to digest it. Because what I used to do when I used to listen to music, I used to get the CD, it used to come in the mail. I used to put it in my Discman, and I used to mow the lawn and listen to the entire brand new album that I just bought and listen to the entire project. And no, I don't like this song. I don't like that song. But then because
stuff
it became,
would grow on you.
Yeah, stuff would grow on you because you listen to it, I'd be like, I still don't like that song. I still don't like that song. And then like maybe like 2 years later, you'd be like, oh, you know what, this one kind of hard. But you would give these songs a chance because you had to listen to it in a full package. You couldn't yank one song out and be like, never gonna listen to the album again. Here's my one favorite song, add that to the playlist. And you can see in how artists create music now, they create like that. They don't create for an album anymore. They're like, oh, I gotta get the hot single. That's why people don't even care about albums anymore. Yeah, go ahead, drop an album. We only listen to one song off it anyway.
When everything, CDs like are a thing of the past. I mean, they still come out, but everything's streaming now, like Apple Music, Spotify. I mean, if you don't have that, then what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should be streaming us now on some sort of platform. So if you are living under a rock, you probably aren't listening to this. If you are not living under a rock, you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Yeah. That's a little plug for Splash Talks. But you think about it. We lived through the age of the internet coming to be, right? Mm-hmm. Back then, when internet wasn't very important and before social media existed, we lived one life. Mm-hmm. That was the life in the real world.
Yeah.
But as the internet became a thing and we developed, certain platforms like AOL Instant Messenger, when we were messaging each other.
Yeah.
Remember AOL Instant Messenger?
I never had it, but I remember it. Yeah, I never had it.
No way.
Yeah, I swear.
You weren't hollering at girls on AOL Instant Messenger after school?
Nah, that's Ashley Nieto. I was hollering at her through MySpace.
Yeah, and so now you think about MySpace, right? That was like...
We were coders before we even knew we were coders, dog.
Bro, I was making sure that my page, when you landed on my page, it was
fire.
Lit.
I had the song, I had the drip of the page, bro. I used to have a bait background, dog. It was always some bait with like Lil Wayne music playing.
Yeah, I used sometimes because I had an artist page on there, so I made music, so I had a separate artist page that would have like my music.
Oh, I forgot you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. People had artist pages and like music pages, and so when that came about, like MySpace and all this social media stuff, we had to develop an online personality for the first time.
Yep.
Because people cared about being perceived online. And I don't know if you noticed this, but like as we like grew into this, you see certain people online and you'd be like, oh, I wonder, like, is that how they are in real life? And then you meet them, they'd be so cool online, and then you meet them in real life and they're square.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is not real. Like for the first time, you're like, oh, people front. Like when we're not in real life, they're trying to portray an image. Oh, because in real life, before social media,
on your profile,
you couldn't do that.
This.
Yeah. I knew certain girls that would have like MySpace profiles, and they would just be like, trying to act like super cool. You think they're like the most confident like girl out, and then you meet them in real life, and they would like be too scared to talk to you, and it's like, oh, okay. Then you go back online, and they'd be like mad expressive. Like you'd be like, oh, this is just online, guys. Like, all right, okay. So now we have to be two people. We're real world person and we're digital world person. Now you see, as we went through technology, we were starting to develop more of a digital life than a real life. And that takes us to where we are in current day. Where now we are living in an age where we used to go to the digital world to escape from the real world. And now we go to the real world to escape from the digital world.
Dang, that's deep.
The things that we used to care about as kids, we just cared about like interacting and just doing stuff and like being in the moment, being present. With technology, they're already coming out with reports that these kids that are being raised on like iPads are already starting to decline like mentally. Like they're coming out slow. Like they're not developing communication skills.
Communication, all of it, bro, because they're just like this. It's so funny because whenever I go somewhere, I always try to like, I mean, I'll be on my phone or whatever, but when I'm waiting in line or whatever, I like to strike up conversation because that's my personality. And like 9 out of 10 people are on their phone or looking at something, like scrolling.
Oh. Let's get into that. The day that it all changed, man, I'm an uncle, right? And I got 2 nieces and a nephew. And every time I used to come through the door, they would stop everything and just run, uncle, like would go crazy, right? The moment one Christmas, they all got iPads. When I would come through the door, they wouldn't even notice. They'd be like this. Just be on their iPad like this. Oh, hey, what's up? Oh, what's up, uncle? And I was like, oh my gosh. That was the day everything changed. Now I come over and I'm like, I got to be like, yo, can we go outside? And they're like, go outside for what? I remember explaining to them, I'm like, just so you guys know, when I was a kid, I was outside playing with stuff. You guys are always on these screens. And just so you know, the metaverse is coming, guys. And it's going to happen one day where one of your friends is going to be like, Glow, let's play games in the metaverse. And that will be the last day that you don't have Oculus glasses on. And you will literally just stay in a chair and just stare through the Oculus at your new digital world. And that's your life. You just sit in a chair and you just stay in the metaverse. Yo, I told them that. 2 of them started crying. They were like, I don't want my future to be like this. Like, I'm not going to do this. That sounds like a horrible future. Then one of them, one of my nieces was like, that actually sounds fun. And I'm like, see, this is the change. This is the change. They are okay with this because this is all they know. All they know is the iPad. That's it. And then you think about it. Now, compare to now, man. Dating sucks. We have way too many options because we're all on dating apps. We can meet anyone we want in the world. Music is now forgettable. We grew up with rappers like Jay-Z, Nas. Yeah. Give us a flow. Give us a flow, Cody. Show them how they rap now.
Like it's like mumble, like, you know, no real thought going into it.
No story.
Yeah, no story. Not painting a picture.
No, not at all. It's just rollie on my wrist. I got your girl. Like, I drive this whip. Like, okay, cool. Like, there's literally no story. There's no struggle. You guys have just been winning since the beginning of time. Like, congratulations. There's no reason to listen to you. You won already. Like, all right, cool. And you sound like everyone. Back in my era, where I grew up, nobody sounded alike. If you tried to sound like someone else, they would call you a copycat and you would be an imposter. We forgot the process of things. Technology has robbed us of learning actual skills because now we have AI to just take care of it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to learn how to write anymore. You just go, ChatGPT, write me a paragraph on the moon and how many times we've seen it. And then it'll write your article. You don't even have to learn anything.
It's really dumbed us down a lot.
It's dumbed us down a lot, and we've lost patience.
Yes, there's no such thing as patience anymore. Instant gratification, instant. And I mean, I don't have patience as it is. That's something I got to work on. But yeah, even like waiting in line and stuff. People are like, oh my gosh. I'm like, dude, shut up.
Yeah. Us as society, like someone's taking too slow in a certain lane. You're like, I got to get around this person. It's like, guys, we are literally living in the most technologically advanced era of human history. The least you could do is just have a little bit of patience because we can do a lot now. Yeah. Back to pop culture. Now there's like no creative movies coming out. It's just reboots. Fast and the Furious 29. Like how many Fast and Furiouses can we have?
Yeah. Too many. Clearly.
like seriously. Remember Ludacris? They were like asking Ludacris like something about like why do they keep making movies? He's like, because they keep making money. It's like that's why you asked me like why we're a part of this. Is like because they're just making billions of dollars, so we just keep it going. If it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Sometimes you don't know when you're in the golden era while you're in it. Yeah. You just don't.
You don't know what you have until it's gone.
My sister and I, we send TikToks back and forth to each other, right? And we send each other these nostalgic 90s memories. Old stores that used to be open, like Circuit City or like Nobody Records. Beats the... Yeah. Oh, Fry's? Wait, Fry's is closed, right?
Yeah, it hasn't been a thing in a
long
long
my
time.
Gosh, bro. Not a long time because I can't. Yeah, all these old stores, right? So we'll send each other these TikToks and these nostalgic accounts, right? For the 90s. They'll have this like eerie music playing and then like you'll swipe through like all the photos of like all the gym class stuff we used to do. Like remember when you used to like everyone used to have those big blankets and you like throw it up in the air and everyone was sitting underneath it? Yeah. They used to sit underneath it. Like they'd show those things, what you see in like lunchrooms, old malls.
Remember tetherball game?
Tetherballs. So we send these posts back and forth, right? We send these TikToks back and forth. And every time like I'll send it to her or she'll send it back to me, we have the same reaction. We're happy and then we get sad. Like we're like, oh my gosh, I remember that snack. Remember Dunkaroos? Like, oh man, I used to eat Dunkaroos all the time. And then like bruh. You'll think about it, right?
I forgot about those.
You remember Dunkaroos?
Yeah. Those are fire.
Hard.
And then they had the reverse one where it was an Oreo Dunkaroo with the cream dip. Damn.
Undefeated.
These kids don't know what they're missing out on.
They don't know what they're missing. I remember kids that had that. I was like, dang, man, their parents really hooked them up. Like, because like you bring snacks. Like my parents would bring fruits. I'm like, I don't want these fruits. I want me some Dunkaroos. Give me some fruit by the foot. Give me some fruit by the foot, bro.
Gushers.
Yeah, give me some Gushers. Oh man, I can taste the Gushers right now.
Bro, fire.
So back to what I was saying is we send these things back and forth and I would get sad and happy at the same time. So I'd like be happy that I haven't seen this image in years, but then sad that I'm not there anymore. Yeah. And it makes me think about life right now where it's 2023.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm much older now, and
Uh-huh.
I've seen life go from being primitive to being technologically advanced since I was a kid in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have to weigh where you're at, right? I'm smarter. I do more. I'm more talented than I was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But the way things were when they were simple seem to be much better. Meaning, yeah, I got more now, but when was I most happy?
When you were younger.
When I was a kid.
Yeah. All that stuff didn't matter because you were in the moment and you were happy with what you had. You weren't looking at what you're going to do next. You weren't thinking about what's going to happen next. You know what I mean? All those things as an adult, like when with that saying when they say when you're a kid, uh, like what was one of the things we couldn't wait to do when we were a kid, bro, was get older, right?
Yeah.
And now like we just wish we could go back to that because like you don't realize how it really is as an adult when you are a kid. You're like, man, I can't wait till I can grow up and I can drive. I can have my own place. It's like, what kind of bills comes with all that? You know what I mean? Like all the responsibility.
They don't understand. You know, when we're older, we tell them, like, hey, this is how it is. We sound like old heads to them, but it's like, guys, we thought we wanted to fast forward our lives, but
Not at
now
all.
it's like, no, like where we were was where we were supposed to be.
Hmm.
You know, you said that we were more in the moment. Yeah, that's because we were present because we were always focused on what we were doing in the meantime.
Hmm.
Now we're more in our heads. We
More than
think too
ever.
much.
Yeah.
You notice how when we were kids, we didn't deal with anxiety
Wasn't
because
such a thing.
it wasn't in our heads. Because
Mm.
we weren't in our heads. We were going and touching and feeling things, smelling things. How many times do you smell throughout the day?
A lot.
Oh, maybe I just maybe my
I
nose is just not
smell.
as
I
good as
just
yours.
always am weird about smells. Like people be stanky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean in general, like going outside and like being like identifying smells. Like how
Yeah.
often do we do that?
Probably not
When we were
enough.
kid,
Yeah, not
because when we
enough.
were kids in the summer, we would just summer smelled like summer. Like you're
Hmm.
like this reminds me of this or this reminds me
Yeah.
of that. Thinking about like smells and memory, right? I remember 8th grade. My
Hmm.
dad had a coworker who gave him this cologne, Armani Emporio cologne, right?
Yeah.
This cologne is my favorite cologne because he said, "Hey, you can have this cologne. One of my coworkers gave it to me. She didn't need it or whatever." I
Uh-huh.
took that cologne as a 13-year-old and I used it as deodorant all summer. So whenever we go to camp, like I'll be with my homies and like we'd be like going on the next trip at camp. Like, oh
Yeah.
yo, let's swear. Yeah, we're good. Like, yeah. So anytime I smell that cologne, I'm
It takes you back to then.
transported to
Yeah.
when I was 13.
Isn't that a trip how a smell could do that?
Yeah. That's like one of the best summers of my life, and I'll never forget that. That I was
Dang.
transported back to when I was 13 just because of a smell. And I think about now, it's like there's no memorable smells.
One for me
I
that I
just
still have is the smell of like the fresh first rain of the season, where it's like, and it's kind of like the ground's wet, and just that smell just reminds me of being a kid, and like it's very relaxing.
I think when we were younger, like everything was more memorable. I
Mm.
used to remember things that would happen because one of the reasons why time is different for us as we're older and time is different in this more technologically advanced era is because we're not having new experiences. We
Yeah.
kind of know how it is. I don't know about you, but now I'll be driving and like I'll be forgetting I'm on the highway. Like I just be like oh shoot. I'm like driving 75 miles an hour. Like wow. Cuz I'll be in my head because me driving is autopilot. I
Yeah.
don't have to think.
Think about it. Yeah, just like walking.
Why this era just pales in comparison, like this current era, like current time pales in comparison is because we're not in the moment. We live a digital life over a real life.
Yeah.
The digital world is more important than the real world now.
Yeah.
And how you are perceived,
and how you look and what you're portrayed as.
Yep. Our online identities are more important than our real world identities.
Yeah.
It's all about the highlights versus real life.
Yeah.
I have to go in on this. Even in sports.
Sports
was huge, right?
Yeah.
We forgot about sports. Sports was huge growing up. We had the best heroes. We had Michael Jordan. We had Kobe Bryant. We had legends, right?
I don't agree with Kobe, but yeah.
Okay, all right. Shots fired. I respect it.
Happy birthday
you a Kobe
hater.
hater.
Today. You would have been 45.
You posted about Kobe today. What are you talking about?
I didn't post about Kobe. I see
you posted about Kobe. You posted about Kobe today.
That's a bold-faced lie. You know I didn't.
It's Kobe's birthday. I saw somebody on your story with purple and gold, son. So you can't tell me.
No, that
dude was celebrating.
Trejo. He had 55 years sober today.
No, that was a 24. You posted 824. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
So anyway,
son, that was for pumpkin spice and everything nice. Come on.
All right. Anyway, this dude trying to hate on Kobe like that. All right. I see how it is.
I'm sweating.
Let's get back into this. So we had heroes like Michael Jordan, right? We can agree on that at least. All right.
Yeah.
Who won things the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm watching sports. Well, people like LeBron want to do things the easy way. They have all the talent in the world, but they want to form super teams.
Yeah.
They want to form super teams, right? So we're watching people like literally just like don't want to do the challenging thing. They just want to be like, hey, can we team up? I want all the best players all in their prime. And then that's how we're going to win our championship. I know it would have been much more fulfilling to beat you guys, but nah, I'd rather join with you guys. And so now we got
everyone.
And then we got kids who are thinking that this is the best era of basketball, best era of sports, when it's actually the easiest era of sports.
Yeah, you get tapped. It's a
foul.
You look at someone the wrong way, it's a foul.
Yep. And then they go, well, the players today are much more talented. It's like, these players don't even play full seasons.
They're soft.
You look at Kawhi. Yeah,
soft.
Kawhi plays 36 games a year. LeBron plays like 63. Like, Jordan was playing 82 games per season, like with full seasons. Yeah, with the flu. 9 times he played a full season. These dudes today, a dude who actually plays all full game, like 82 games, is like seen as like a miracle. And it's like, now music's watered down. No one raps about anything. Sports is just about how we can form a super team and just higher scoring, just because it's more entertaining, versus like the integrity of the game, versus movies where it's just reboots and nobody does anything creative. And then technology just makes it so we don't even have to get out of bed. So we literally we don't even have to think. There's no more challenges anymore. Life is just, it's become so interesting and so advanced that it's now boring.
Yeah.
We have AI writing music for us. We have AI, people cloning people's voices.
Yeah.
We have people that don't even write music anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they just like have someone else write it. Like, everyone wants everything so easy. Everything's so easy now.
Convenience is everything.
Convenience is everything. And that's why I think that this era is just a painful era to live in. There's so many great things about it, but man,
there's not.
I think simplicity like trumps all the gadgets and
everything.
Tenfold.
Well, guys, we thank you for joining us again on another Splash Talks. We've been having great feedback, and we just appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, listening, supporting us on this journey. Stay tuned. Next week, we got a guest join us. We can't wait to do that. So we will see you on the next episode. Peace out.
Splash.
See you guys.